Hey everybody, welcome to 3 Chord Dave Live, number 59. 10 more weeks to go till the funniest number. 10 more shows to go. We'll have a couple of breaks for Christmas. We'll talk about that later. Pretty much doing what we did last year, but we'll talk about that. Hope you were all doing well. Hope you had a great week. I had an interesting Friday. I'm going to tell you all about it. My new guitar is not here. Disappointing. But we have lots of stuff to talk about, so let's get into talking about stuff. Before we do anything else, sláinte and cheers to you, my good friend. Yeah, it's been interesting. Lots of very cool stuff. Usually what happens is we have 10-15 minutes before the optimum number or the maximum number of people come in, so we're going to wait and tell you all about that. Interesting exchange I had yesterday with somebody from Gibson. If you don't know, don't spoil it in the comments. Maybe do, I don't care. But yeah, I had some exchanges with a certain person. Anyways, we'll talk about it. I got some Adam Jones updates for you. We'll go into that, and we will be seeing those guitars very soon. Anyway, let's get into it. Scott says, cheers all, and then of course, hola amigo was my introduction today. Ryan is here. He says, good afternoon. Good to see you guys. Always you guys first. It's nice to see. Richard Clark says, I'm not first, I win. Indeed you do, Richard. Congratulations. Your prize is in the mail. Might get lost in the mail, but hey. Grandpa Joe's here. Good to see you, Grandpa Joe. You're in New York City. Hope you're doing well. Always good when you drop by to see us. Richard says, I thought I was going to miss everything, but I made it early. Nothing wrong with being early. It's not bad at all. Why is that happening? Computer's going mad. Sorry about that, guys. Scott says, and yes, this is important. Anyone new here, you have to subscribe. Wait for a minute, and then you can chat in the best chat on YouTube. Indeed. Yeah, make sure you're subscribed. Again, because of the interaction I had last night, there may be a lot of new folks in the chat today. So if you do see new folks, welcome them. Say hello. And if you're one of the new folks, say hello to us because we love you. And you're our favorite person. So let's do that. And then make sure you hit that like button and all that sort of stuff as well. Richard says, okay, there are 3 of us here, but I only see 3 thumbs up. Exactly. The 3 people in the room. There should be at least 27, I think, is how it goes. Scott says, or Grandpa Joe says, hopefully my wife does not interrupt me watching today. Well, you know, I'm presuming, like most folks, she's the boss. So, yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. Scott says, I'm trying to get suited up for the cold. Yeah, definitely take care of yourself there. Let me see, guys. I'll tell you what we'll do. In about 9 more likes. So once we hit 20 likes all together, we'll give you the news about what happened last night, the information I got last night, and why... Just to add even more of a confirmation to it, I might not be in Gibson's good books anymore. Not that I ever was, but hey, I'm definitely not anymore. So let me see. We got Scott says that he picked up a new guitar today. Very cool, Scott. Let us know what you got and what's going on with it. Yeah, jealous. My new guitar, which I bought 10 days ago, is still not here. So I'm quite worried. Richard says, oh, it was a joke, Scott. I thought we all had hit the like. Yeah, there you go. Scott, sometimes we got to keep an eye on him. Scott says, oh, you got your Kurt Cobain signature 30th anniversary of Nevermind Fender Jaguar with case and book. Very cool. Yeah, that's a nice guitar. So good stuff, and hope it is awesome. Richard says, Scott, what did you get? I'd say it was a Tele. There you go. Never mind. Yeah, very cool indeed. Ryan says he's good. How's things? Glad to hear that, Ryan. Hope you are in fact good, and good to see you. Marshall's here says, howdy peepsters. Got to go post a stream on Twitter. Don't forget your likes. Indeed, hit the likes. Ryan asking new guitars. So if you're new or you have new guitars, let us know. Ryan got some good deals today. 2008 LP standard with ridiculous flame top and a golden core CT. Nice. That LP standard with the ridiculous flame top. The 2008s had pretty good flame tops, so that sounds awesome. Scott says, how many you got now, Ryan? Must be a few. LPs, 6 Gibson and an Epi. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of my ideal collection, except SGs, not LPs. So there you go. Scott says, standards are better than customs. in my opinion. Don't ask me to explain my thoughts of why. I would probably pick up more standards than customs, to be honest, just because I think the variety and finishes and everything is a little bit better. Ryan says, I love my custom, but it's almost £11. Standards are £9 and less are nice. Yeah, absolutely. That's £11 is damn heavy, man. Corey says, hey gang, hope everyone had a great week. Hit those magic buttons for Dave. Good idea. And any new gear this week, I picked up a couple of pieces. Let us know what you got, Corey. That sounds cool. Ryan says, yeah, I may trade for an Epi Wildcat though. Wildcats are great. I love them. Almost bought a Metal Zone pedal today, but I know I'd never use it. I mean, that's what we do, Scott. We buy stuff that we never use. It's kind of our whole thing around here. It's my thing anyways. I don't know about the rest of it, the rest of you, but for sure, I've bought many a thing that I never use. Eddie Kidd says, this is going to be drunken shit show, maybe. I mean, this is like my first beer of today. So I had one yesterday. We're finally at the end of the box of San Miguel. So yeah, probably not. Hopefully not. We'll see. But hey, it's all good. Ryan says, I saw a guy selling 6 different metal pedals on Kijiji, all the variants. Wow. Yeah, all the variants. Quite a collection, actually. There's probably a market just to buy all 6 of them. Scott says, which model of Wildcat? I love Wildcats, indeed. I'd love to find a flame cat. That'll be interesting, indeed. Glenn Bailey's here. Good to see you. Glenn says, hello, family, and Sir Dave. Hope all is well. Glenn, what's going on? I haven't seen any of your personalities in a couple of weeks. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Ryan says, I'm not sure. I have an orange amp the guy wants. So we're just trying to work it out. Sounds like a good plan. All right, cool. We've hit 20 likes already, guys, which is super cool. I'm going to tell you the story of my Friday night. And how fun it got. So it started with our friend Cesar from Gibson, the president of Gibson, on Instagram. And he was teasing again the Adam Jones Les Pauls, the one from, this video. There you go. That I put out last week or the week before, whatever it was, with the specs, the price, and the release date. Now, some of you might be here because of what happened last night, so I'll spare you the details too much, but you guys know I had all the specs, the pricing, and the release date in that video. I got the release date was wrong, okay? So I know this because Cesar said so. He said that was wrong. But now, before he said anything, this happened. I got a notification from Instagram, and it said, Cesar liked your comment, where I linked to that video, by the way. I mentioned that there's a couple of pictures on my own Instagram. About an hour later, I got this. Cesar answered me in the comment section. Oh, actually, sorry, this one, let's just take this one down, because this one is the first one. In where he says, check your leak source. They gave you the wrong date, unfortunately. Oh, well, Cesar, you didn't say anything about the rest of the specs, though, did you? So I asked him, everything else is right, though. And apparently it posted that twice. I don't know why I did that, but there you go. And then I just explained to him, they told me the 12th, but since your releases are Tuesday and Thursday. So that's why I changed it to that. Now, he did come back, and he said, wrong. Or sorry, still wrong. And then he said, unfortunately not. Clearly, a couple of people then got involved. This was in Cesar's post, by the way, in his comments under his post. So he was bound to see it. Anyway, some people reached out to me and they said, hey, Dave, here's the Veil of Bees Adam Jones, which is coming out on Tuesday. The art collection. So there you go. There's your first full, well, it's probably not your first full look because the pictures are circulating online since last night, I believe. Here's what it looks like from the front as well. So it looks pretty cool. It's confirmed, by the way, that there are 7 art collection guitars in the Adam Jones collection. There is one. So there's 8 altogether. There's one just standard. It's not an art collection guitar. It's just an antique silver burst. And then the art collection. Now, price-wise, here's proof that the price was right as well. So you can see here, Guitar Center, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, Guitar Center are selling these. already selling them. One Adam Jones case, an Epiphone Adam Jones case, which is a protector case, looks cool. Adam Jones Les Paul Custom Art Collection, Mark Ryden's Veil of Bees electric guitar, an antique Silverburst, $12.99 in the USA, and all the taxes and stuff, you were looking at $14.02. I don't know what state that was to, by the way, but I have to thank for the pictures I just showed you of the Adam Jones Les Paul and this information. I have to thank Jeremy from the Adam Jones Guitar Collectors Facebook group, who was good enough to send me this information and let me know that they're actually shipping already. But yeah, Cesar, I did ask him, I said, hey Cesar, why don't you come on my YouTube channel and talk to me about the guitars and the projects you've done with Adam Jones? And obviously I need to do it now before the 6th. So that's when it's happening, guys. The 6th is the official release date for the Adam Jones guitars. We know that now. So I was a week out, but all the other details are correct. So if you want to check out that video, if you haven't seen it yet, it looks like this. It's on the channel. All the information except the release date's correct, but they'll be out this Tuesday. And Cesar, I'm sure you're going to watch this because I did say a couple of times I do a live stream. So if Cesar or anyone from Gibson is here, reach out to me. My email address is in the description below. We can have a chat and talk about these guitars, and you can tell us why you think it's cool to charge $12.99 for Epiphones. Because I don't. But that, hey, maybe they're special. Tell us how they're special. Anyway, guys, that was an interesting exchange, and it all happened about, like, I don't know, 12 o'clock midnight Irish time. So it was a fun one. But let me know your thoughts on the Adam Jones stuff. Are you going to line up to buy one? Somebody said there's a rumor, though, that they're going to come out in stages. So you might see the Veil of Bees one come out, 800 of those being made. That sell out, and then another art collection come out like every month or every couple of months or whatever. So you might not see them all this week, but they're definitely on the way. And you should see the standard one where it's just antique Silverburst as well. Anyways, let's dig into it. Corey says, I picked up a Squier Telecustom 2, love Telecustoms, with P90s and an offshore Danelectro DC59 in a trade, and picked up a PV Bandit 112, a Korean Squier Strat, and a cool Japanese bass from the 70s in other deals. Very cool, Corey. Got some cool stuff. Scott says DC59 are cool, indeed. Ryan loves his DC59. Indeed, you've told us how much you dig that a few times. So yeah, it's cool. It's I mean, it's good enough for Jimmy Page, right? Corey's digging it. That's cool, Corey. That's cool. DC59 comes in a 12 string and a bass too. Indeed, yeah. I haven't seen the bass too often, but the 12 string I've seen a few times. Ryan says, my Ellen Long and McQuaid has a 12 string 59 in pink. I've never seen one in pink. That's interesting. Sort of a dusty purple color Corey's got. That's interesting. Very cool. Marsh says, hang on, I didn't forget to come back. Going to post the stream on Twitter now. All right, Marshall, thanks for that. We do appreciate it. Just let us know when you're back. I'm sure you're probably back in the comments well below anyway. So anyway, Butterfly Effect is here. Good to see you, Butterfly. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Scott says, yeah, Dano's colors are different. Indeed, there's some very interesting ones. Ben Allmark's here. Good to see you, Ben. Says, hello, my guitar enthusiasts. Hope you're well. That includes you, Dave. Oh, thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing well. Had a great week. It was kind of fun. Chatting with Cesar for a moment on Instagram, back and forth. He clearly didn't like the fact that I had information, by the way. And it's like, I'll be honest with you, this one wasn't hard to get information on the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, Cesar, if you're watching again, I'm not going to tell you. There were some sneaky people in those comment sections, by the way. Like, how did you get this information? Where did you find this information? Yeah, like, I'm going to tell you, Gibson. No way, man. So yeah, lots of fun times. So if you're not following Cesar on Instagram, by the way, go and do it. It is hilarious. Because he does tease a lot of stuff that's coming. Here's his, you can see his Instagram tag there. It is the one that says @3Chord Dave, which is me, still wrong. So once you follow him there, he does post in his stories. He posts stuff of guitars months out before they're released. So, if I was a different guitar YouTuber, I might say, hey, I'll make a video based on Cesar's Instagram every now and then. but I don't. So follow him because it's funny. And now he didn't block me though. I was surprised by that. But there you go. DMAC is here, says hello everyone. Hello DMAC, hope you are well. Yeah, good to see you. Always good to see you. Scott Bogfoot says the one thing non-extendable by means of the internet, Eddie Kidd, thankfully. That's because Eddie Kidd just farted. At least he did when he wrote that comment. Yeah, thankfully that's not coming through. Eddie Kidd says F Pantera, the first show was a sham. Well, hey, I haven't seen any of it, so I'll take your word for it. Sounds like you got it. Miranda says great show. Hi from Switzerland. Cheers, Mike. Thanks, Miranda. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, thanks for dropping in. Al's here. Good to see you, Al. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Ben says, Dave, I picked up a 2019 SG Special in faded Pelham Blue off Kijiji this week, and it made me think of you. Did you have this one? I have a faded Pelham Blue SG Special. Is it the Epiphone one? Because that's the one I have, yeah. Which is great with the P90s, or did you get the humbucker one and the Gibson? Let me know, because yeah, it's essentially that's the guitar that I really love. The Epiphone. It's €350 or something, but great guitar, no doubt. Marcia says, okay, the deed is done. Careful saying that around here. You know what they're like. Yeah, thanks, Mercer. Appreciate it. Chris says hello from Canada. First time here. Hope all is well. Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for dropping in for your first time. Yeah, listen, some of the guys here are crazy, particularly Glenn. Keep an eye out for him. But everyone else is great. Glenn's great too, to be fair. Thanks for dropping in. And if you have anything you want to chat about or let us know, pop it in the chat there. Sure, why not? Eddie Kidd says, got 3 new pedals, all TC electric, a Blood Moon phaser, Grand Magus, is it Magus? Yeah, distortion, and the Vibraclone. Sweet tones, yo. Sweet tones indeed, good stuff. Let me see. Scott says, very nice, Ben. Welcome to the group. Yeah, SG Special. You got an SG Special. You're part of the special gang. Speaking of special, did you see Guitarista's video this week? The UPS disaster. I don't know, man. I just shipped a guitar with them recently. It should be delivered early next week, but I'm really worried now. So if you're Pierre who bought my guitar, I'm hoping you'll get it soon. Well, I'll check up on that as soon as I can. Really won't be using UPS after seeing what Collins had to go through with them. But yeah, anyway, good stuff. From Colin, check out his videos all the time. They're great. I love Pelham Blue guitars. Says there's only 1 like, 3 to go. There's 1 like, 3 to go. I don't know what's going on here. Corey says hello, or welcome, Chris, from another fellow Canadian. Lots of Canadians here, which is great. Lots of people from all over the place. Which is all good. Scott says the MIM signature Cobain Jaguar. Yes. I know someone asked you about it, but yeah, we're not jealous. It's all good. That's a cool one, Scott. I hope you're enjoying it. Ben says, welcome, Chris. Another I'm Canadian too. Go Leafs. No political statements, please. Just kidding, of course. Let me see. What else have we got? I love black guitars. Says hit like if you like black guitars. See, the new people ain't gonna know what's going on about that. So you better tell them. Robert is here. Good to see you, Robert. Hope you're having a good morning all the way down there in Australia. And if you were watching the World Cup, commiserations. Good morning all, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're well. Indeed. Cheers to you, Robert. Happy morning to you. Scott says, it says it's a 3-color sunburst, but there's no red. Definitely 2-color. That can happen. That's more authentic, really. But I can't say the word authentic in a show where Gibson might actually tune in. Ryan says there's a nice Gretsch white Penguin for a great price near me too. Been waiting a while. Been wanting one for a while. Yeah, Penguins are great. They're super cool. Like I don't know if I'll ever actually add one to my collection, but they are super cool. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know how I feel about white guitars. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's all good. But if you can pick one up at a good price, hey, do it, man. Why not? Glenn says, hello, you handsome bearded geezer, you. See, there's new folks here, Glenn, and they're not going to know what's going on. So cute got cousin is Glenn. Glenn has several personalities. It's all good. Eddie Kidd says, Toronto in the house. Indeed, many Torontonians do frequent the show, which is always good. I should get back to Toronto. It's been a long time. Maybe early next year I will head out that way. Toronto, New York, I think is possible for a little trip. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the new year. Richard says, I hope you guys will behave and try not to scare Chris off with the glory hole stuff. I mean, listen, if he sticks around, he's gonna have to listen to Steel Panther in some way. Just gotta keep mentioning Steel Panther when stuff like that comes up. D-Max says, I found Metal Zone pedals work well as a high gain EQ. If you know, there's lots of uses for things like that, and yeah, if it works for you, man, that's cool. Eddie Kidd says, who the F is Adam Jones? Are we going through this again? We did that last week, and I think Ryan was kind of frustrated with everybody. But it's all good. It's all good. Richard Clark says, hi Goth, my emo uncle was asking about you. Emo uncle is always asking about people. It's all good. Let me see, what else have we got for guitar stuff? And you got guitar stuff, guys? Glenn's multiple personalities might end up being the whole cast of the show. Ryan says, whatever date Cesar gave you, Long and McQuaid will price him wrong anyway. Prove him wrong anyway. Yeah, sure. That's what I'm hearing actually is happening, is that certain retailers are already shipping those guitars. So they that's how, like, the one that shipped from Guitar Center, the one that Jeremy sent. No, that's the other thing. The one that Jeremy sent me that's shipping, and further down the page from this, which I don't have, it says will be delivered on December 6th. So Tuesday. So yeah, they've shipped it. It has been paid for and everything. So yeah, the folks who gave me the information, by the way, and those Adam Jones, were correct, and maybe I've got a new way of getting back into Epiphone information and Gibson information, because it was a new person who gave me this information. So despite the dates, not too bad. Anyways, hopefully we get more stuff. You know, it's touch and go at the minute of whether or not they'll come back with more stuff. But yeah, Cesar might tighten down things a little bit. Being the president of Gibson and all, he can do stuff. Marcia says, yeah, I saw that exchange a short time ago. Watch Cesar change the entire release date because of Dave. You know, it crossed my mind. Yeah, because it was like an hour later. He liked the post and my comment, and then an hour later he came back. So I think he watched the video, and then he got the I don't know, idea to start commenting. So it was really interesting. I had gone to bed, and I got a message or a notification saying Cesar commented on your post. I was like, all right, this is fun. He didn't answer when I said, though, you should come on the show. So we'll see. Cesar, if you're out there, come on, buddy. Let's do it. Chris says, I'm really hoping to get an Adam Jones Epiphone. Yeah. That lots of people in the same boat. I'm not a big Silverburst fan. I'm not a big Adam Jones fan, so I'm not after them. But I really hope everyone who wants one gets one, and I hope Gibson Stroke Epiphone don't do shit where it's like all of them are limited to 800, and the same 800 people all get the same guitar with a different back on it. I think that'd be stupid. And clearly people will buy multiples of these, you know, collectors and so forth, and flippers. They will be flipped on Reverb for sure. You can guarantee these going for about $2,000 on Reverb within the first couple of weeks of them being sold. But anywho's, Eddie Kidd says Tool overrated. And hey man, lots of people think that. So you're not alone in that. I'm just not a big fan. Chris says, but I am not sure I want one with any art on the back. Well, good news, Chris, you will be able to get one without. And I think that one, so I think it's only the art back or the art collection ones that are going to be limited. I haven't confirmed that, but I know there is just a regular antique Silverburst one coming. I keep saying standard Silverburst. It's not a standard, it's a custom. But yeah, just Silverburst on the back, Silverburst on the front. There is one of those coming. I was That was confirmed to me yesterday after the Cesar exchange, but I'm not sure if those ones are limited. I don't think they are. It would be a stupid move if they are, to be honest, because so many people want this guitar. Chris says, I'm not a Tool fan, but I think the guitar is beautiful. That's what's so cool about it. They are definitely, one of those where some people love them, some people don't love them, some people hate them. And it's cool that like we're living in an age though where people can get what they do think is cool. We're within reach, or you can get it on your budget level. I'm still surprised how expensive these are. It's kind of crazy to me. But, like I like certain things that other people don't like. Pelham Blue, for example, is my favorite color of guitar. But some people just don't like Pelham Blue because they're crazy. But it's great. We got so much choice these days. It's super cool. Ryan says, I got banned from all Gibson related Twitter and Instagram, except for Cesar's for comments about them excluding Canada from the best gear. He actually replies to me every time. Look, in fairness, Cesar, he does appear to be very cool on social media. I would actually love to talk to the guy. So if he did want to come on the show and do an interview for like 15 minutes, I think we get some really cool questions. And I'd probably softball him so that I could have some sort of nice relationship with Gibson in the future. And no, I still won't tell them who gave me the information. Eddie Kid says, Tool is the Radiohead of alternative metal. If that's a thing, it might be a thing. But hey, it's good to know how you feel about him. It might be right. It might be right. Miranda says, that's crazy pricing for an Epi. You could get a Gibson Special Tribute and an Epi LP Modern for that. I mean, yeah, you could, for let's say 1,500 all in by the time everything is done, right? 1,500 for an Epiphone. You can pick up Gibsons. You can pick up a decent Gibson SG for that money. Okay, if you want a Les Paul, you can still pick up Les Pauls for that. And on the second-hand market, you can actually get some really great stuff for that price. So yeah, it's running a risk, I think, for Gibson. I've been saying it for a long time. And just for those of you who are new, and I know those of you who are not new will know that I repeat this often. I've been saying this for nearly a year that Epiphone prices are going up. So when was it? Like the Jerry Cantrell ones. Just before that, I was like, Epiphone have a new pricing structure. They're heading towards 1,500. And people were calling me all sorts of names for saying that. But now look where we are. They're $1,299 plus tax. We're getting there. And this is just, we're still at the start of it. It's still going to get higher. I wouldn't be surprised to see even higher than I originally thought. So keep an eye on it, because you're just going to end up with Epiphones being ridiculously, and just, I wouldn't buy one that's $1,299, to be quite honest with you. Especially one that I don't think is that special. In terms of the specs, it's regular standard signature model specs as far as I'm concerned. But there you go. Nicholas S says, dude, thanks for the date correction. No worries, Nicholas. Yeah, hope. Listen, I brought the information as quickly as I could last a couple of weeks ago now. As soon as I got everything, and I'd correlated it as best I could. So it's always my plan. If you are new as well, I did break the Slash Epiphone Les Pauls, all the specs, release dates, pricing, everything last year. Was it last year? When those came out, I had everything, like, I think a couple of months, maybe 6 weeks before they came out. It was definitely weeks before they came out. So, yeah, I find my ways to information. So stick around for that if you're looking for something in the future. But yeah, I'll always try and update stuff as well. Because when you're trying to find information about guitars and you get somebody who tells you stuff, they can have wrong information, and sometimes you just got to correct it. So always keep an eye. If I post something and it's not out for a while, keep an eye, because I could post a correction or mention it in here. Glenn says, I would like one, but it would drive me crazy not playing it because the artwork on the back. I mean, you could get some sort of protector for the back, like a guitar condom. It's my new business. I'm going on Shark Tank. Guitar condoms to protect the back of your guitar. Particularly helpful in places of ill repute. Anyways, I get you, Glenn. I wouldn't want to do that either. Mark says to Ryan, so Cesar will talk to you, but Gibson won't. Why doesn't he get that rectified and throw in a rectifier for the trouble? Interesting. Yeah. Well, Cesar's looking after his own social media. I'm sure somebody probably has the job of looking after Gibsons. I don't think they should be banning people, though. The company shouldn't ban you. That's just bad. OG Digger says, sup, dude? And OG Digger it's up to you. Glad to have you here. Thanks for dropping in. Marcia says, Cesar has talked to me too. He clearly has a lot of connections to TCD, whether he knows it or not. That's it. Like, I see you guys in there and in the chats and the comments and stuff like that all over the place. But you know, it's and it's cool to see you guys. But yeah, everybody should just jump into those comments and be like, hey, yeah, that's a great idea. Talk to Dave on his show. I don't think they will, to be honest, because he didn't like that. I don't think he liked that I had that information that and I don't think he liked I jumped into his comments section and started telling people. So anyway, Ryan says, I don't know. I don't know that I'm banned exactly, but when I try to reply, it just says failed. That is interesting. Yeah, maybe it sounds like you're banned to me. Glenn says, did you get to fly out to Gibson for dinner and a show if you get the Adam Jones? No, I don't think so. I think that's exclusive to Metallica members. Or guitars modeled after Gary Moore guitars, perhaps. I don't know. I'd actually love to ask Cesar, so what makes a guitar worth 50 grand? Just see what he says. DMAX says, I like Epis, but no way buying anything at those prices. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the $1,000 barrier for me with Epiphones is solid, and that's why I was waiting for the Joe Bonamossa's to come out this year, the 335s. As you guys know, again, I mentioned those a long time ago on the channel. Was waiting for them, had money literally put aside. That's the Joe Bonamassa guitar money, and then they came out, and I was like, $1,250. Nah, it's a bit much for it. Even though I think they're nice guitars, and I don't want to say anything bad about Joe Bonamassa on YouTube because he might leave YouTube. But obviously, you know, it's just a barrier, and we'll all have different feelings. Some people be like, I don't care, that's the guitar I want, I'll buy it, and that's right for you, so go do it. For me, I think I'm in Gibson money when I'm spending over $1,000, so that's just personal. Or something better. Actually, I have my eye on an Eastman, which is just over $1,000 at the minute, and that's where I'd spend my money right now. My knees hurt us here. Good to see you, my knees. Hope you're doing well. Says, drinking Irish Death beer again today. It's been my go-to for some time now. 7.8%. Can't go wrong. If it's Irish and beer, you're doing well. So, my friend, cheers to you. Sláinte. Have a great one. Yeah. So, Richard says, they make protectors for the back of guitars. They do. They're horrible, but hey. They do make them. It's true. OG Digger says, I'm waiting for the AD Epi to drop. Yeah, that sounds cool. SB is here. It's always good to see SB dropping in the chat. Says, evening, just finished the Dio documentary. Great watch. I'm also going to trade my Micro Terror. Let's hope for a Marshall valve state because I want a thicker sound. Frowny face. So don't be going with a frowny face. It's all good. If that's what you want, that's what you want. So yeah, good luck with it. Glenn says, yes, Richard, I know. But I know me, I'd be looking at the back more than the front. I think that's a interesting statement. Andrew Becker says, on the pre-order list for the second batch of Adam Jones Epi LP, February 14th. Interesting. Yeah. Well, look, we're so close to the break, which nothing happens between basically the 20th of December, probably before that, and end of January anyway. So that's not too far away to wait. So that's pretty good. SB says, I have a question for everyone. Would you sacrifice the original pickups of a guitar for tone? Doing anything like that, I would say keep the original pickups. If you ever decide to sell it or trade it, put them back. And that's because that's my pet peeve when I go to buy a guitar and it hasn't got the original spec to it. Because if I want to change it, I'll change it to my specs. So thanks for that. But yeah, in terms of if I wanted to change it for different tone or get a different sound, yeah, absolutely, I'd sacrifice them. But I'd keep them so that I could put them back if I ever sold a guitar. But actually tend to, yeah, I've never done it, to be honest with you, where I've swapped them out just for tone sound, but that's what I would do. Keep the sound. Mark says, so who here is going to talk about Geek Lord getting hold of a greenie to review? I wonder how much he had to pay someone for that privilege. I didn't even watch, so I don't know. Yeah, I didn't even know he had one, but hey, a couple of YouTube channels got their hands on a greenie. The other thing is, speaking of Cesar, I believe his guitar, I think he's calling it Gemini, which is only a few serial numbers down from Greenie, is apparently going to be done as a run as well. So there may be, if you want Greenie but you can't afford 50 grand, you might be able to buy a copy of Gemini, which is very close to it. Whether you want to buy a copy of Cesar's guitar or Gary Moore's or Peter Green's, or even, dare I say it, Kirk Hammett's, there will be other options, though. They'll surely at some point just do a like a $5,000 version or whatever. I don't think they'll do a $2,000 or $3,000 one, but maybe they'll do an Epiphone now that they're pushing Epiphones up well over 1,000. Who knows? But we'll see. Maybe in a year's time we'll be talking about, hey, the Epiphone Greenie's coming out, and I'll get in more trouble. Daniel Tillaroos here. Good to see you, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. Al says, I've unsubscribed from Geek Lord. Wait, now all the new people are going to be like, who the fuck is Geek Lord? Let's just say he does. He gives you your daily dose of guitar information. The Geek Lord Guitar Show. We just changed his name on here because he comes up so often that we don't like talking him, like using his actual name. Glenn says, Andrew, what company is taking orders for the next one? By the way, guys, as far as I'm aware, like the likes of Thomann, they don't take pre-orders, or they've never let me pre-order something. Maybe someone else has pre-order with them. Company, I'm not sure, like Anderton's, stuff like that. So certain companies just won't take pre-orders. So Tuesday morning, just be quick on the draw, because I believe they're going to be just available from opening of business. And online companies, that's like 6 a.m. or something. Glenn says, oh yeah, that was Glenn asking that question. Marcia says, it makes him look bad. He was banned. You don't go crawling to get hold of one another way. Desperate much. Who's anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Andrew Becker says, so it looks like the batches will be 60 days apart. The batches of the architects. Yeah, well, that's around 60 days, isn't it? Yeah, we'll see. Look, again, just bear in mind that the other companies will have other stocks, and some do and some don't do pre-order lists. So maybe just keep an eye on Tuesday. You might pick one up. And of course, there's the reverb option, because lots of people are going to buy them just to sell them. So if you're that desperate, just keep an eye out for that. But bear in mind, yeah, there will be more arriving in stores and so forth. SB says, oh, and I'm not going to joke about Bonamassa. Did you guys know he's sick? He tweeted about it like it was nothing. I'm pretty serious, sadly. I did not know anything about Bonamassa being sick. Hopefully he is, doing okay. Hopefully if he's sick, he gets better. That is pretty sad. So all the best to Joe Bonamassa, as always. I like to joke around, but he's a cool guy. Even if he's another one who's not my biggest fan, hey, it's all good. Seem to get in trouble a lot on YouTube lately. Ryan says, Marcia, I doubt he had to pay anyone. He has lots of clients and friends who send him things to review. It helps the value of their guitars. For Geek Lord. Yeah, indeed. Plus, he did say he was getting one to review. I think at one point he said his friend was going to let him borrow it. Don't really watch him anymore, so can't speak on that. But Richard says, I would swap out pups on most anything except real vintage for tone. They can always go back in later. That's true. That's what I would think. My knees hurt says, I don't watch many guitar YouTube folks. I don't feel cool enough or something. You're more than cool enough, my knees hurts. That absolutely don't let them put you off. Most of them aren't cool anyway. Oh no, getting in even bigger. Some of them are cool, just not all of them. Glenn says, FYI, I'm not crazy. My other personalities are sketchy though. I don't know, Glenn. I don't know. Let's just roll on past that one. What's wrong with JB? No idea. Scott says, hey, my knees hurt. My knees hurt says, if you sold your V, I'd personally fly to Ireland, condition stamina. Hope you didn't sell that guitar. No, I keep getting lowball offers for it, and I'm not going to sell it for anything lower than my asking price. And honestly, like as I said, the reason I'm even considering selling it, and the PRS that is sold, is to do a Rory Gallagher documentary. So I'm hoping to raise enough, about 5,000-6,000, to do a short documentary, about half an hour's worth of a documentary. Enter it in some film festivals, then put it up on YouTube. Just have some fun with it. But yeah, it's the only reason. I've got some, I know that there will be a lot of guitar editions next year, so there's a lot of cool stuff. But the likelihood is no one's going to give me the money for the V that I would sell it for, which means I'm also short on my Rory Gallagher documentary budget. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But don't come and kick me in the shins, please. That'd be great. OG Digger is saying you're waiting for the AJ Epi to drop. Yeah, well, Tuesday it'll drop, so keep an eye on your sellers. Like I shop at home, and I guarantee, because I start work early every day, and when I know there's a release, I check Thoman, and they always have it up, so like before 7 a.m. So check out, if you're in Europe, check out Thoman. They will probably have them 7 a.m. Or before that. I presume guys like Anderton's Peach Guitars in the UK will as well. Guitar maybe, although I think they've started shipping theirs as well. So yeah, just look here, even like just email Sweetwater this week and be like, hey, when are you selling the Adam Jones guitars? Can I put my name down for one? With the same with Guitar Center, who were shipping, whoever, just reach out to them. The worst thing they can say is you'll have to wait for the second batch. But most likely you'll find one online. Some retailers will have them. At least you know they're coming this Tuesday. You don't have to wait to see it online. They are definitely coming this Tuesday. And they can be sold from then. SB says, that's a good idea, Richard. The thing is, if I change the pickups, I'd sell them to recover the money. I'm still undecided on what to do. Well, if they're rare enough pickups, you can recoup quite a bit of money on them for sure. But what I would say on that is, I mean, look, it's fine. Some people won't care about pickups. If I was buying the guitar off you, I'd want it as spec as possible, as original spec as possible. Or I would be like, you're going to have to give me the money off the guitar that I'm going to have to pay for to get the right pickups. And that's pretty much, like, that would be, I'd be making an offer and I'd be like, I'm taking off 300 or 400 from my offer because I need to get pickups to replace the ones that are not there anymore. So it's all depending on what they are, of course. But yeah. But look, hey man, if you're buying a guitar, it's your guitar, do whatever you want with it. And don't let any of us here sway you. That's the most important thing. Ryan says, since both Dave and seemingly Trogley now are both on Gibson's bad side, they'll become friends. We will. We're gonna like fix things and become best friends. Maybe he'll answer one of my emails. Who knows? Glenn says, I had FedEx lose a Strat of mine and had to wait 90 days for a replacement. Wow. Yeah, that's not cool. Eddie Kidd says, black guitars are the only guitars and Pelham Blue. Well, there you go. Yeah, see, Pelham Blue is, it's sweet. SB says, JB said he's going to have something bad removed, let's say. I don't want to be a bummer, but it made me sad really to find out. Hey, if it's being removed, that sounds good. Sounds like they're on top of it, and that's the main thing. So yeah, best wishes to Joe Bonamassa, of course, and always. Richard Clark, with a very good question, says, they make black guitars? Yeah, I hadn't heard that either. Running jokes. You'll eventually catch up, new folks. Don't worry about it. There's lots of stuff that gets said on here that's like, what the fuck? If I was new on this channel, I would be like, what is going on? Who is this guy? And why do people keep saying things that are weird? It just happens. So Ryan, I see a new channel forming, the Dave and Geek 3-chord channel. 3-chord and 1 scale show. Hey man, he knows 2 scales. But yeah, Glenn, you never know. We could have a side channel. Me and Geek Lord. I like it. Eddie Kidd says, just shaved my head and the beard is growing. TikTok. Are you trying to replace me? Is this what's happening? That's fine. Like, I need a vacation anyway, so we're all good. My knees hurt says, Metal Zone rules. No arguments. Glenn says, I'm interested in seeing what new artworks will be coming next. If it's something that I fall in love with, I may have to break the piggy bank. You saw the Berserker last week, right? Have I still got it in the thing? Maybe not. No, I don't have it in the bank for this week. But yeah, the Berserker one looks pretty cool. I think that's in the video, actually, in the Adam Jones video. So that's a great one. The Veil of Bees is an interesting one as well. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea doing the art collection, by the way. I think it's nice. Considering that we don't know all of them are coming out, it means there's a nice variation, nice surprises to come. Just be interesting to see how they go. And maybe they'll do other special limited things with people like Slash and Bonamassa and whoever else they're releasing things with. I suppose Mustaine as well. I think the Mustaine Epiphones are very close to coming as well, by the way. Maybe those are coming out the 13th, or maybe I'll start messing with Cesar on Instagram about those. Who knows? My niece Hurt says, I feel the Adam Jones Gibson stolen guitars was a stunt. If not, why Epiphone models now? It may have been a stunt. It may have been. I don't know. I know people who had those ordered because I made a video and they reached out to me and we got talking, and I still talk to some of them now, and yeah, they definitely didn't feel it was a stunt because they had to wait a long time to get their replacements. But it's a long time. Like, it's 2 years now since the Gibson ones came out. So yeah, it's just about the right time for them to do. It's funny that it's so late in the year. Like, I was fully expecting these to be out early this year, like April-ish. So here we go. It's a long time. But as I said in the video, or maybe I said it last week, I heard, and Cesar, if you're out there, correct me, but I heard Adam Jones rejected a few variations of what was going on here. So again, that could be nonsense, but that's what I heard. Anyways, we'll find out soon what all the stuff is going to be. Benny says, hey guys, finally caught up on the stream. Good thing I did. Fun story, Dave. Blocking people is apparently not part of Gibson's marketing policy. Hey Benny, good to see you. Yeah, glad you're here. And yeah, blocking people is bad for marketing. Plus, I have more than one account, so it's all fine. Glenn says, I love my Metal Zone pedal. I still want a Boss DS1. Glenn, go get yourself a Boss DS1. It's Christmas, almost. Just use that as an excuse, but I can buy myself a Christmas present. Eddie Kidd says, all the 40th anniversary Squires are on sale big time right now. I just don't see one I really like. Well, you know what? Maybe you'll see one you like on this channel next week. Who knows? Yeah, I do have one of the 40th anniversary Squire Telecasters coming. It's in the Sherwood green with the gold anodized pickguard. I love that guitar from looks wise. It's brilliant. I love it. The only other way I think a Tele would go would be get a blonde one. I think those are great. Just this traditional old butterscotch blonde. Fantastic, can't beat it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that arriving. But Toman, it's been like 10 days now. Get your shit together. You're only in Germany. I know you're all obsessed with the World Cup, but you got kicked out yesterday, so get your shit together. Thanks. I'm sure Toman don't watch the show, by the way. Andrew Becker says, well, that's kind of not doable right now. On the release day next week, I'd try Sweetwater. Okay. Definitely try Sweetwater. Yeah, why not? Let me see. Daniel says, I actually played a Gibson I liked, and it's a tribute. The nitro satin makes the neck feel a lot smoother to me. The satins are cool on the tributes. I really like them. Indeed, Scott says, the Sherwood green Tele with gold hardware is my favorite of the bunch. Me and you, Scott, we got it. That's why you got that wrench thing. Yeah, that's a cool one. I like the red ones as well, red and black with the black pickguard. I think that looks pretty cool. A lot of those 40th anniversary ones look really good. The blue and gold on the Strat looks really cool as well. If you ask me anyways. Glenn says, if Cesar watched the vid and didn't hit the like button, we need to go to the garage and boycott the new hats coming out next week. You know, I'll get to the Gibson garage someday and I'll ask, can I speak to Cesar, please? I believe he's the manager around here. I believe he's the boss. My niece says, my $300 Hamer Slammer from late 90s plays as well as any guitar I've played. No need to buy any other fancy guitars, and I do own more expensive guitars. Well, there you go. Yeah, like my $350 Epiphone, one of the best guitars I've ever played. And you might say to yourself, hey, you're Chord Dave. You're not the best judge of character for a guitar. Maybe. But I've played some very expensive guitars and I've played some very cheap, shitty ones. And that Epiphone special with P90s, Faded Pale and Blue, it's beautiful. And it plays great and it sounds great. It's wonderful. And if you don't believe me, check out Guitarista's video where Colin compared the three SG specials, Custom Shop, the USA, and the Epiphone. And he's like, the Epiphone's great. He's like, yeah, the Custom Shop's better, but not by as much as, I think it was 10 times the price, was it? Anyways, the Epiphone specials are great. So yeah, so nowadays in particular, cheap guitars are not always bad guitars. Daniel says the Adam Jones Epi was completely overshadowed by has completely overshadowed the Matt Heafy. Yeah, kind of people just shut up about the Matt Heafy very quickly. Actually, that's a good point. Eddie Kidd says to Scott, that's the best one, I think. Good, because that's the one that's coming. Scott, now with the controversial, Tool is overrated. I have 3 big old boxes full of them. All right. Andrew says, Sweetwater, the batches are limited. The batches are limited to 800. Far as I'm aware, each art collection guitar is limited to 800. It's total. But again, willing to be corrected on that, but that's what I was told. So hopefully there's more, because there's 800 is not that many. But it did, like, there was 300 of the Lucille's, the red and the white ones respectively. Red for the US and white for here in Europe, and they lasted a couple of weeks. So I think at the price, people are gonna balk at it a little bit. Richard says, if you don't like the art on the back, you can just sand it off. There you go. Yeah, absolutely, man. Might hurt the value. I don't know. Chris says, thanks for the information, Dave. I appreciate your time. You're welcome, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. I love putting stuff out there because, like, honestly, like, I want to know about this stuff, even if it's a guitar I'm not super interested in. My obsession with putting out information started with the Slash Epiphones last year because I wanted them to be great, and I actually just was really disappointed when I found out that they had Pro Bookers in them. And I know they say Pro Booker Custom. They're saying the same with the Adam Jones, Pro Booker Custom in the neck position. I'm not buying it, son. Yeah, I feel like it's now that I know people who can tell me information, or have for the last couple of years known people who can give me information. May as well put it out there, right? So if I find it, I'll put it out, even if it's something that I'm not super interested in myself. Eddie Kidd says, I wonder what Geek Lord is doing right now. Probably having another baby, because he has 37 of them, I think. I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding. Just joking around. Just getting in trouble with everyone this week. Marsha says, Ryan, I couldn't reply. Had to restart my phone. It's possible someone let him borrow the guitar. For Geek Lord, yeah, he did. I'm pretty sure that's what was going to happen. Nicholas S. says, Pelham Blue LP is beautiful. Yes, I agree with you, Nicholas. That is 100% a true statement. SB says, Eddie, Geek Lord is probably sitting, getting high on tight bond or hiding in a bush outside a Gibson garage, maybe. Indeed. Has he ever made a video where he went to the Gibson garage? I think that would be something he'd be interested in doing. He should do that. Geek Lord, if you're watching, head down to Gibson garage. I wonder, is he going to go to NAMM? I wonder, am I going to go to NAMM? If you want to see me go to NAMM, what you should do is if you want to see me go to NAMM and confront Cesar in person, which would be fun, wouldn't it? Head yourself over to the Patreon page. The links are in the description of all the video. Get yourself this cool mug. It's no, that one. It's over there. There it is. Look at it. It says Chord Dave rocks my world. How cool is that? It's kind of all right. But yeah, you can get that after 3 months of being a patron. And you get all the things like any videos I put out. You'll get at least 24 hours in advance. There's a WhatsApp group I'm about to set up, and there might be other perks coming your way as well. There will eventually also be Patreon exclusive content. Probably going to start that in the new year. So check it out. And yeah, every penny will go towards possibly going to NAMM. Should be fun, and maybe we'll get some guests on if we do go to NAMM, meet some other YouTubers and stuff. So yeah, if I go to NAMM, by the way, I will 100% walk up to Cesar and be like, hey dude, I'm Chord Dave. See if I get kicked out of the Gibson stand or area or room or whatever it is. Looking forward to it. Anyway, Richard says, I love the old green tinged S-bursts. Sunbursts? I was waiting for the right one when silver burst. I was waiting for the right one when the whole AJ thing blew up, and now I can't afford one. I don't want to be like everyone else anyway. Yeah, it'll calm down once the Adam Jones ones come out. I actually think just the regular ones will come down in price, hopefully. But yeah, because the Adam Jones thing has been crazy the last couple of years. Scott says Cesar is one cool cat. He's living his dream, that's for sure, and you can't argue with that. And I think he's pretty cool. Mar says, by the way, did I hear correctly that some of those green e-guitars landed on Reverb? Yep. I thought everyone had to sign legal docs with Gibson stating they can't sell that guitar for at least 5 years. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true that there was definitely rumors going around, but that you couldn't sell them. I think maybe started by Geek Lord. I don't know. I think he probably started putting it out that was on the thing, but no, I don't think it was true that you couldn't sell them, but they were heavily discouraging selling. And if they thought you were a flipper, they were not going to sell it to you. They weren't selling to dealers. They weren't selling to people who regularly buy to sell. That's why Geek Lord got all bent out of shape, because he wasn't allowed to buy one. So yeah, they wanted to sell to people who would keep them. But yeah, some did arrive on Reverb, and they were $86, $87, $89,000, which is crazy. You don't even get to meet Kirk Hammett if you buy him off Reverb. Mar said someone did. He said a viewer sent it to him. If I paid 50 grand for a guitar, there is no way in hell I'm sending it to a YouTuber. I don't care who they are. I wouldn't send it to me. God damn it. There you go. Marcia says, Ryan, I missed hearing that. Thank you for clarifying. Ryan says they don't care. One was for sale for 89,000 a week after they got them. Yeah, that is true. Plus, how binding is a contract from Gibson to say that you can't sell the guitar that you purchased from them? Because you could run into financial trouble. You could be like, shit, I'm an idiot who spent 50 grand I don't have on a guitar. I need to sell it. You could go through a divorce, need to sell it. You could just have a medical issue, need to sell your guitar. It's pretty sure like it wouldn't hold up that you can't sell a guitar that you paid for. So yeah, whatever, Gibson, you can't pull that shit. Andrew says, how many guitar regular standards have maple necks, custom paint, and SD pickup? Yeah, that's true. But how much does a one Seymour Duncan distortion cost? And yeah, the maple necks thing is you're spot on there. Custom paint, I mean, get someone to custom paint it for you if you really want it. And bear in mind, it's an Epiphone, so it still has a poly finish on it. Eddie Kidd says, you guys are my favorite YouTube people, just saying, even when I feel crusty. We love you too, Eddie. Thanks for dropping in, and thanks for letting us know. Thanks for saying that. It's cool of you. But yeah, super cool of all of you guys to be here on your Saturdays. You know, there's Tyson Fury's fighting. There's the World Cup is on. Other YouTubers are streaming, and you're here. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Ryan says it either sold or was taken down. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened with it, but it looked like it was taken down. Let me see. Marcia says, then why did they make everyone sign legal papers if they didn't intend to go after them? I mean, Gibson loves sticking lawyers in everyone, so why not do it? It's probably a scare tactic. I just can't see how they can enforce it. You know, it's none of their business if I sell my guitar. Plus, like, you could sell it to someone, like, I don't know, I could sell it to you, for example. You and I just do a private deal. How are they ever going to know? So yeah, I can't see how they'd enforce it. Maybe they got him to sign something. I can't see how they'd enforce it. It seems stupid. Chris says, guitar condom for all your wood protection needs. You're going to fit in well around here, Chris. I like it. Yeah, good. You got our advertising slogan. We're ready to go. We just need some factory somewhere to produce our guitar condoms. There we go. We're going to be rich. Or maybe not. Al says, maybe Gibson sent out cease and desist letters. That would be the first step, I think. It wouldn't surprise me, Al, to be honest. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Ryan says, I have no idea, Marcia. Maybe it was someone at Gibson selling it, or a lawyer that they don't want to bother with. Gibson do like to sue people, but yeah, I don't know. I'd fight them on that one. If I pay you 50 grand, you can't tell me what to do with the thing I bought. Don't care what I signed. Yeah, it's Andrew. Yeah, you got a point there, but I got a limited Gibson LP Swamp Ash with maple neck for below 1K a while ago. Here you go. Also, yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, I think that guitar, the Adam Jones, personally, and this not just the Adam Jones, like a lot of signature Epiphones lately are overpriced. I think they should be trying to hit them around $899 to $999. And they should try and make it work for that price. But obviously, look, at the same time, here's the most important thing. If you think it's what you want and you can afford it, go buy it. And don't let anyone else say it's not worth it, because it's not worth it to them. If it's worth it to you, then that's cool. I would never criticize anyone for paying the price for a guitar. It's not for me. Same way the greenies are not for me at 50 grand. But if they brought them out at like 3 grand, I'd be tempted. Very much so. Glenn says, I see a new T on the horizon. It's a TCD guitar condom. It's not just for your bedroom players anymore. That's another good one. I like that. Yeah, t-shirts. I might have to get on that. It's been a while since we've had a good one. The GH specials might have to make a return as well for the new year. Who knows? SB says, Gibson sent Dave a Cesar and desist. They did indeed. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be funny. Mess with Boogie needs an affordable line of amps, less features, slave labor, whatever it takes. Wow. Andrew says, a lot of things have changed since a while ago. True. That is true. T-Ball's here. Good to see you, Anthony. Hope you're well. Says, what up, guitar freaks? T-Ball is in the house. Smoke him if you got him. Do. Why not? Nothing stopping you. Glenn says, needs 7.8% alcohol. A couple of those and you'll be banning you and me both. I mean, it's not really a banning kind of day. Andrew says, today people are pre-ordering Epi LP SIGs for $12.99. Yeah, listen, no criticism of that, Andrew. Look, don't get me wrong. If people want to pay that money, if they think that's reasonable for what they want, then that's all cool. Would never criticize anyone for that. I'm just I think the value level for what it is could be better. That's how I think I'd explain it. Absolutely no criticism of people. If you like it and it's worth that much to you to get it, do it, man. It's all good. Never any criticism on that level for me. You know, I bought things for prices that other people think are crazy. But it was worth it to me at the time. I thought it was worth it. I think that's the most important thing. What it's worth to you is the most important thing. Anyways. Ryan says, I'd love a mini Mesa 1 to 5 watt head and cab. That'd be cool indeed. Yeah, I'd like that. Chris says, Eastman had a big price hike last week. Most of their guitars went up $250. Yeah, the one I'm looking at is actually discounted by about 250. So I don't know, across a couple of different sellers. Or dealers, I should say. So yeah, I mean, look, they've got some great stuff though, Eastman. Muddy H2O, one of our guys he's been unwell lately, but he's going to come back one of these days. I believe in him. He's been trying to get me to buy an Eastman for months now. But I finally found one. I'm like, damn, I have to pick that up. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe in the new year. Eddie Kidd says, T-Ball, I am on a step ahead of you. Good to know indeed. Glenn says, T-Ball, what's going on? Yeah, good to see T-Ball dropping in. That's too bad. Their price was perfect for Eastman's. Yeah, I haven't seen the price increase, but I'm just looking at this one guitar that maybe they're just doing a clear out with this model, which means I have to buy it sooner. Damn it. Anyway, Richard says, I'm never going to deliver a pizza to Nerdville. When Bonamassa answers, I will insult him, tell him he has bends like Tim Henson or something. When he gets upset and leaves, all that gear will be mine. Good idea, Richard. Good idea. I like your thinking. Al says, Casino Guitars did a video based on info from 2 Greenie customers. Seems there are some groups of 6 instead of listed 2. There are some groups of 6 instead of the listed 2. Interesting. Yeah. I did watch their video. I thought it was interesting that 2 people who weren't at the event were talking about the event. But there you go. Obviously, they got the information and they're relaying it back. It's one of those things. But yeah, listen. I believe they're good guys to tell you whether they're good or bad guitars. So very cool stuff there indeed. Glenn says Geek Lord was still a little bitter about Greenie. He ended the video by saying what he liked best about it was a chunk of mahogany that was case candy. That it was the chunk of mahogany that was the case candy. Well, listen, He's a little bitter. He'll be fine. SB says, I like Cesar, but why did they choose to call it the Gemini? It sounds like a failed NASA mission, not the greatest Gibson model ever made. Greatest Gibson model ever made. That's a shout. Interesting. I like it. I like it. Daniel says, all of Geek Lord guitars are case queens. Perhaps. Benny says, the Epiphone Greenie would probably come with Pro Bookers. Yeah, probably. And listen, again, because there's some new folks here, I just want to be clear on this. I don't really have a problem with Pro Bookers. I think they're good pickups. They're not bad at all. But if you're selling premium level, they're not premium level. They're, that's why sometimes they put in Gibson pickups into Epiphones, because those are better quality. So Pro Bookers are fine. Absolutely. If you're charging 500, whatever it is, you're charging 1,500, 1,600. I'm expecting some Gibson pickups. That's all I'm saying there. But yeah, nothing wrong with Pro Bookers. But if you're putting them in a Greenie and you're charging 1,400, put some Gibsons in it, please. Eddie Kids says, buying to sell is lame. I've been selling some stuff on Reverb lately. I quite enjoy it. So who knows? Maybe I'll become the new Geek Lord. That's my goal. It's always been my goal. But I'm only going to sell Harley Bentons. Review and sell Harley Bentons. Not really. Marcia says to SB, I agree on pickups. If a guitar has potential to be seen as a collector's item or popular down the line and you might sell, hang on to the original pickups or parts. Don't make any irreversible changes. It's good advice, I think. But again, do whatever you want with your guitar, and just realize that there will be people like me, if you do ever go to resell it, who will use it as a tool. Be like, you got to give me more money off because I got to buy pickups, and some of them won't actually buy the pickups because you're jerks. Hopefully they will. Scott says, my tech told me that the high-end made in Mexico Fenders he's been seeing for the last year or so have been higher quality than USA and most custom shop level. High praise for the made in Mexicos. Yeah, I've seen a lot of great made in Mexicos the last couple of years. So I don't know about custom shop level. I've never played a custom shop Fender, so I don't know. But everybody says that they're the holy grail. So so that is interesting. Quite a statement. Glenn says he liked his made in Mexico Strat. What color was it? Just wondering. My niece says Bonamassa is coming to town. I seen a giant billboard last week. I do not care at all. Hey, maybe you'll run into him and you can wish him well. From all of us. SB says, yeah, I'm not going to swap them. I think it's safer to try pedals and amps. Thanks, everyone. Hey, that gives you more things to play with. So yeah, SB. But hey, as I was saying, if you keep them, you can swap out pickups and have some fun with them as well. So that's pretty cool. Daniel says, I thought Bonamassa was leaving Twitter. He's leaving Instagram. Or I think he's just basically handed his Instagram account over to a social media manager is what's happened there. Probably one of those things he'll come back and be like, all right, let's give this another shot after a few weeks. Hopefully, because he does post some things. And even stuff like he leaks his own Epiphone models. So, like the first mention of the ES335 from this year was way back. I don't know, summertime, maybe even earlier. Excuse me, maybe it's even earlier. Like I did a video about it very, very early on. Mentioned it here earlier, months ago. So yeah, I hope he comes back onto Instagram at some point because we need to see his early leaks of his guitars. Marcia says, I like that. Like I could see many guitars from Epiphone's 2020 lineup selling like hotcakes in the future with the better quality, amazing popularity. Maybe not a collector's piece though. Yeah, you're 100%. They will go well, I think, because there's some good Epiphones out there right now. Miranda says to Scott, maybe have a look at Fender Made in Japan 57, ST57, ST62. They're as good as Fender Custom Shop. Playability and sound-wise. Fender Made in Japans are very, very cool. Yeah, I've only ever had my hands on one, but it was a really great guitar. And I very rarely hear anyone say anything bad about them. They tend to be excellent instruments. T-Ball says, I pick and choose what I watch from Geek Lord. His voice kind of grates on me, and I get the impression he is a bit of a guitar elitist. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna get on the guy. I think he does his best. He has super fans. He's a really big audience, and And clearly, if you have a big audience, you're doing something right. So, and I have a small audience, which means that you guys are just have better taste. That's all I'm saying. He's he's doing his best out there. He's essentially what he's doing is making videos to try and sell the guitars that he buys. And good luck to him on that. He does quite well, I believe. Al says, but Geek Lord can't play for shit. I'm in that club, to be fair. So, Scott says, I want a Japanese Strat, but I never see the right ones at the right time. That can be an issue, indeed. OG Digger says, I have a few colored guitars. There's a whole spectrum of color out there, and blue happens to be my favorite when it comes to guitar colors. I quite like green at the minute, and cherry sunburst as well. But no discrimination of any guitar colors. Indeed. So we've got Al says, Scott, I only see you playing acoustics on your website, never play electrics. He has quite some cool electrics, but yeah, Scott, when are you going to whip out some of those kick-ass Jacksons and stuff that you've been telling us about? Benny says, T-Ball, yeah, I agree on the latter part, but perhaps less so. He reviewed a Korean LTD after all. True. My niece says, I don't watch the Trogly guy. I've seen a few videos, but his content does not interest me. I don't buy guitars. Well, there you go. Yeah, look, anything on YouTube, if it doesn't interest you, don't watch it. But just come back to here, because hopefully we can help you out with some interesting content or good information. Marcia says, sorry, got a phone call anyway. So if there's any chance a guitar might get sold and could be popular item, best to keep original parts and not make irreversible changes if you want to sell. That is a very true point. Paul N is here. He says the Adam Jones Epi is better than the Dave Mustaine Epi. Yeah, for Adam Jones fans or for Silverburst fans, yeah, 100%. I believe the Dave Mustaines are having a full set of Seymour Duncans in them, which is great, and his Trash Masters. I think I've seen that they're going in that. Seems to be quite good actually. The Epiphone ones that they're bringing out, and they're different again from the Gibson ones that they brought out. So quite interesting that they're doing that and making it different and not a copy of what they've already put out. So, but yeah, look, they're different markets completely. The V's are going to be very interesting. I might pick up a Dave Mustaine because I do like the V and I like it with the Explorer style headstock. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe not. Scott says, I play them. I don't prefer to. I'm an acoustic player. Less hassle, more primal. Indeed. Andrew says, I'm switching into EMGs out of the Epi LP Silverburst I already have. I don't buy guitars specifically for pickups. No guitar is immune to my mods. Distortion is going in my LTD TE1000 Black Blast. Very cool. Yeah, listen. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's your guitar. You do what you want with it. 100%. And if it sounds better to you that way, then hey, make it good. And yeah, EMGs. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you, man. Sounds cool. And good to see that you're going to already use the distortion in something else as well. Pretty cool. Ryan says, I hear you, Scott. Acoustic is where most of us started too. Yeah, I started playing on a Epiphone. No, not an Epiphone. Squire Strat. No, Fender Strat. A Strat, a red Strat. That's all I know it was. And then a Hofner 12-string acoustic. Those were the two that I would bash around on when I was in the house by myself when I was a kid. Not too young a kid. I wasn't just abandoned. My folks went out or whatever. I'd play my dad's guitars. Marcia says, are any type of guitars primal? Indeed. That's why we're all here. Ryan says, I was looking into a Loden F25, then thought about an Avalon until I read He's a Pedo. Moving on. I don't know about that, so I'm just going to move on. Scott says, takes more confidence to play electric cleanly. I'm at my confidence ceiling when it comes to performing. And you know what? Whether you're a good player, a bad player, a great player, whatever, I think it actually takes, and of course I would say this, but I think it takes a pair of balls kind of to put up any kind of playing on YouTube or anywhere else, because You could be great and people will savage you anyway. You could be shit and people will savage you. You're just going to get savaged. It doesn't matter. That's just how YouTube works. So you just you got to have the resolve, the thick skin to take it, or to not care. T-Ball says, I don't play acoustic often, but when I do, we're starting to sound like memes, guys. I always wonder why I don't play acoustic more often. Indeed, acoustics, nothing wrong with acoustics. But there's something about electrics, man. Does anyone know which modeling amp might be great for acoustic, electric, and bass for an all-round playing and plays nice with pedals? Bass, what's that? Michael Tuesk is here. Good to see you, Michael. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Always good when you get to pop in California. Glenn says, Dave, just told the wife you said it was okay for me to order a DS1. She said, go to hell. Not sure if she was talking to me or you. I'll get clarification on that later. Glenn, your wife would never say go to hell to me. I'll say no more. Anyways, Miranda says, the Gibson LP Special Tribute Satin are great P90s guitars. It seems they are now discontinued. Yeah, indeed, those are great guitars. I do like them a lot. Some of the tributes had some really great flamey necks on them as well, which is cool. Glenn says, hey, Michael. Indeed. And My Knees Hurt says, I'm looking at SGs and I think I'm going with Epi. I wouldn't disagree with that. As I said, I used to have a Gibson SG special with mini humbuckers. I've told this story many times. I bought the Epi special with the Faded Pale and Blue and the P90s as soon as they dropped at NAMM 2020, I think it was. And it was so good. I was playing that all the time. So I sold my Gibson SG special. So in terms of SGs, I think Epi make some really, really good ones. And you tend to get a lot more for the money. So in that regard. So yeah, I would back that choice up. My Knees Hurt 100%. SB says, I bet if you take Cesar's hat away, his comb over would show and he could die. Hey man, there's nothing wrong with hats. My Knees Hurt says, my credit card can afford Gibson SG, but why if Epi does the same thing? Yeah. As I said, sold the Gibson because of the Epi. I think that speaks volumes, and for me, I was blown away. But bear in mind, when I bought the Gibson, I bought it online. I'd never played an SG before, and I was like, I'm probably not going to send this. I'm probably going to send it back because I didn't think I'd like the SG. As soon as I took it out of the case, I was like, this is the best guitar ever made. So I loved that SG, but then the Epi one was, honestly, it blew it out of the water and was much more playable. The Gibson was a great guitar. The Epi is even better. So that's just all I would say on that. I think Epiphone make great SGs. Inspired by range anyway. Michael says, I love my Epiphone 12 string acoustic. I got it to Gibson Garage. Less than $300. Wow, that's a good deal. Sounds great. Plays great. That's all that matters. Awesome. Good stuff, Michael. Benny says, yes, Scott, the new 2022 version of the DS1 should be really good. The Guitar Geek reviewed it and compared it to other versions. Guitar Geek Andy is a channel you guys should be watching as well, by the way. He's a super cool guy and love his videos. Marcia says, Glenn, what if I said it's okay to buy a DS1 woman to woman? My knees hurt. Aren't they aren't the same. Ryan says, I think presuming Epiphone and Gibson. Yeah, no, that is true. They're not the same. And sometimes you can get a good one on either side. Glenn says, I'll tell her you said it was okay too. Thanks, Marcia. I feel like Glenn's going to get two things. One of them is a DS1. The other one, he won't tell us about. Marcia says, Michael, you got a 12 string for less than 300? Yeah. Acoustics Epiphone acoustics are not as expensive as you would think, I believe. Scott Bogfoot says, sticks a belt sander to back of the AJ guitar. Guitar shoots across the room. Yep, that'd be me. Don't do that, Scott. Ryan says, don't say that, SB. He'll leave. Besides, I hear Cesar has excellent hair. It's all good. It's all good. Here, let's not worry about it. Benny says to Glenn, that was you, the DS1. Then my comment, Scott, was for you. It's all good. Wayne McConnell's here. Good to see you, Wayne. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Glenn says, I need to still watch that Guitar Geek vid. He seems to have a few. I think he had quite a few. Yeah, indeed. It's a good video. Scott, I was like, WTF on that one, Benny. It's all good. It's all good. D-Mac says, I got one of those old 60s tribute Epi LPs. Has Gibson 57 pickup. Sounds great, but the darn guitar won't stay in tune. That can be an issue with LPs. It has those crappy locking tuners. I think I'll switch the tuners and the nut. Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, that should do the trick, to be honest. Richard says, I remember when I went to NAMM, Charlie was in the trees everywhere. I got a Purple Heart because I shot myself in the foot. Not that NAMM, Richard. But hey, thanks for that. But yeah, that's that, you know, Charlie in the trees. Different NAMM. They should definitely consider renaming it, to be honest. Michael says, there's a difference between the quality of materials and construction between Gibsons and Epi. I did the Pepsi challenge with some SGs, LPs and specials, and the Gibbs are better, but the Epi aren't bad. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say Epis are made with equally good components or woods or stuff like that. I will say my SG Epiphone felt better and I played it a lot more than my Gibson, so I sold a Gibson. And I know a lot of people who feel that way. Honestly, one of the best videos to compare them is the guitarist's one, SG Specials. He compared 3 different levels. The Epiphone SG Special that I have, the USA Special, and the Custom Shop Special he bought a few years ago. And so you can see the differences in them because he takes them apart. He has a look in the parts and specs, as another YouTuber might say, on the workbench, and he has a good play through them. And pretty between the USA and the Epiphone, he was like, the Epiphone's better. But check it out. Like there's definitely as well. There's definitely with Epiphones. There's the good ones, and then there's the other ones. So if you get a good one, you're golden. But anyway, you are 100% right. They're made with better materials, and they're made under less time pressure, which usually will mean better quality control. But we know what Gibson's quality control can be like. Anyways, that's a whole other story. Marcia says to Glenn, tell her I insist. I'm sure she'll tell me to F off, but women sometimes get through to each other. Explain that what the pedal means. If you make it emotional, she might bite. That's not in the what you should do with women book I read, but hey, it's all good. Ryan says to Michael Jessica, exactly. Yeah, you're 100%. Dan, Michael says, yes, Songmaker DR 212, $289. That's quite a good deal, actually, yeah. Richard says, that guy actually let Trogley take his greenie apart. SMH. It's exactly how I feel. Very SMH. Ryan, yeah, I wouldn't let him change my strings. Yeah. SP says, I'd send Geek Lord a greenie case, but inside of it there's a pair of underwear and a very strange and worrying skid mark. Okay then. Michael says, they didn't sell out of the greenies. I could have bought one when I was there in October. Sold out now. Oh, very interesting, Michael. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, actually, I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. Glenn says, hit that like button, peoples. Indeed. Well, we've 41 watching and 41 likes. That's pretty good. I like that. Indeed, thanks, guys, for all of the liking and the watching. Appreciate it. T-Ball says, Gibson can't tell you what to do with your property. F those guys. That's what I would say if I bought a guitar from them. Scott says, also not sold to outside of USA residents. Correct. Yeah, I believe that was true. US only. Benny says, anyway, I found out this week that Epi wheelchair players are the coolest people in the world ever since mine arrived. If you've got one, Benny, then that is a true statement. So well done on figuring that out. Ryan says maybe the greenie thing is like what Ferrari does. If you break your agreement not to flip it, you're blacklisted for future purchases. Interesting. Yeah. I didn't even know about that Ferrari clause or agreement. Maybe I shouldn't have sold my Ferrari that I bought. Totally bought. I didn't. I bought a Mazda. They sent me some weird cups. It was weird. Ryan says Gibson would keep selling you guitars if you sold their mother. Anyway, comments on that, Cesar, because if you're watching, we'd love to talk to you on the show. Lots. I'm trying not to read the weird ones, guys. And Marcia's got a couple of doozies right there. Glenn says, Benny, you were cool before the Wiltshire. Indeed, Benny was cool before the Wiltshire, but he's just making them cooler. The Wiltshires, that is. Scott says, any African guitar manufacturers that are sort of well known? Not that comes to mind, Scott. I'm sure there are a couple though, but maybe other folks know. John Smith, good to see you, John. Hope you're well. Says, I bought an Eastman and they are so good. Yeah, that's what a lot of people tell me. Which Eastman, which model did you get, John? Because the one I'm looking at, I'm actually like, wow, this looks flipping cool. Especially for the price. It looks too good to be true almost. But yeah, lots of people telling me that they're really, really good. Marcia says the Casino Guitars video playing Greenie on a Spark 40 was funny. Hey, haven't seen it. It sounds funny. It's good stuff. Al says Casino's video was based on some of their friends or customers who were able to purchase Greenie. Yeah, good to know. Indeed. I always think that's interesting though. It's like if you bought the guitar, Al, and then I was like, hey, what's it like? And then I was like making a video about it. I'd rather have you on and have you talk about it than me relay your information. I think that's the best way of doing it. But that's just me. That's how I do my channel. As I've said many times, I like the guys at Casino Guitars. I think they've made good content for a long time now. When are they giving away that PRS Silver Sky? That's what I want to know. I'll probably start watching them again when they do that. Michael says, I just bought a Pango guitar kit. It is installed a 58 Flying V. I'm putting Epi Pro Bookers in it, quick connect and push pulls. Yeah, I got a couple of sets of those Pro Bookers lying around with quick connects and push pulls. So they're pretty cool, pretty cheap to pick up. A couple of sets of those, no problem. And I'm gonna have to look at the Pango guitar kits. Sounds good. Could be fun. I think we pretty much decided a couple of weeks ago, those of us who are regulars on the channel here, we're going to do some guitar kits in the new year. So I'll be looking at seeing that, see if I can pick up something interesting. Sounds cool. Sounds like a cool project. Michael, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with it. Marcia says to Scott, that's a very random question. Why specifically African? He's going to have a good answer for that. I guarantee it. Eddie Kidd says, had chili. Guess what happened again? You guessed it. Beans. I mean, enjoy yourself. Ryan says Soklo and Cassimi are two I've seen. Scott, I knew someone would know. Glenn says nothing pisses Dave off more than Pro Bookers in a black guitar. That's not true. It's not true, Glenn. And honestly, what I would say is I like black guitars, but if there was 1,000 guitars, that would be the 1,000th one I would pick up. The 999th would be a plain white one. Actually, flip those. Yeah, it'd be 999th. So there you go. I nearly bought a black guitar a couple of weeks ago. That would have blown your mind. Eddie Kidd says, drink. All right, then, fine. Marcia says, Eddie Kidd, you need Beano next time. Beano, like the Eric Clapton album. Scott says, Pro Bookers have shit covers. The plating is super cheap. The pickups sound fine to me, though. Yeah, they're not bad pickups. Annie says, I think Bonamassa leaving social media is smart. Sooner or later, he'll piss off some bullshit group and get cancelled. And we all get cancelled. It's all fine. Benny says to Michael, they're not bad pickups as such. Indeed. And Glenn says, my Made in Mexico Strat was blue, actually. Got in 2002 and it faded to a nice violet colour. Nice. Sounds pretty cool. My Niece Hurt says, everybody should leave social media. It's a cesspool. I've been saying that for a long time, but yeah, except for YouTube, of course. YouTube is the place where, I mean, it's fine. I like YouTube of all the social medias. I don't like the others as much. I don't spend as much time on the others, but hey, that's all good as well. What time is it? Oh, cool. We got about half an hour. Excellent. Marcia says, did anyone hear the new Metallica song that dropped? Thoughts? I really like it. Some guitarists think Kirk's solo is messy, and that was the entire point given the song's energy and meaning. But that was the entire point. I mean, I heard it. Where I heard it was Rick Beato's video reacting to it. Played a very nice SG. My reaction to it, my thoughts to it. Not a super huge Metallica fan. Like him, yeah, but not one say I'd go and see live. Don't think. It was all right, yeah. For Metallica, it sounded pretty standard. Metallica for me, yeah. I thought the solo was pretty good. So yeah, it was fine. Nothing special. Eddie Kid says, just got back from the bathroom there a few minutes. A couple of highs and lows from the bottom end. We love you, Eddie. We do. Scott says, Marshall, I've never heard of and guitar companies based in Africa seem underrepresented in the guitar scene. Definitely underrepresented. That's a true statement, Glenn. Sorry, not Glenn, Scott. And yeah, we might have to look into that and see if we can do something about it. But it's definitely an interesting question, and who knows? Who knows what will come around in the next few months. Wayne says, just checked out some Pantera doing Cowboys from Hell. Great stuff. Yeah, doesn't sound bad at all, does it? Minnie's Hurt says, I have not heard the Metallica song fully, but I've heard many YouTubers learning to play it. Sounds killer to me. Kill 'Em All is the best album. Is it? Michael Jessica says, I agree. I'm not even sure if they're real Epi Pro bookers. I got them on eBay, $40. Wiring harness with good wires and push pulls. Only thing is, I need to rewire the tone as the V has 3 knobs and not 4. Indeed, yeah, that's an issue as well. But yeah, I think they are, because I've around $40 is what I'd expect them to be priced at. So you should be fine. Yeah, 100%. My Knees Hurt says, I have 291 subs. If 6,500 is small, what is 291? I honestly think that those two numbers in terms of YouTube are on the same level. I think when it comes to YouTube, you got to hit 10,000 to be anything more than a very small channel. Anything under 10,000 is a very small channel. But I appreciate what you're saying. It is nice to have 6,500. I'm not complaining. I like it. And you know the best thing about it is it makes me feel like you guys are here because you want to be, not because I'm just a popular guy and everyone's following the popular guy. So appreciate that a lot. Michael says, I got tickets for Metallica in LA. I just got nosebleeds for $88 for 2 days, and Pantera-ish is opening on Friday. I was like, Pantera-ish? Oh, I get you. That's not too bad. Yeah, $88 for nosebleeds. Tickets, man. Ryan says, there are lots of them in South Africa. Part of the reason is that rock music and guitar in general isn't very big there. So there you go. That's an interesting point. My Knees Hurt says, to Michael, the first show sounds killer. 3 killer bands. And Michael returns to My Knees Hurt, says, 291 subs gets you free YouTube with ads. Congratulations. Free YouTube with ads, indeed. It's one of the benefits. Marsh says, I'm betting any larger companies are likely based in South Africa. It's probably small builders for the rest of the continent. Very true. And 291 is better than my 7. It is. It's a higher number. I know a lot of folks with small YouTube channels, like a couple of hundred subscribers, couple of thousand, couple. And yeah, I think, look, we're all, as I said, 10,000 is that mark where it seems to be you get a little bit more push. Everyone else below 10,000, we're all fighting the same battle. For my experience, I'm nearly 3 years doing it. It'll be 3 years next month on the channel. The thing is consistency. If you can put a run together, of putting out at least one video a week for an extended period of time, you'll pick up subscribers as you go. And the thing is I would say keep it on a theme as well. If I made guitar videos for 3 weeks, and then I made car videos for a week, and then I made, I don't know, Super Nintendo videos for a month, and then back to guitars, I don't think many people would stick around. So keep it to a theme. I think you'd be pretty good. And if you can, grow a really long beard. I think that helps. If you can't grow a really long beard, just buy one off like Amazon or something. Michael says, it's ironic. Mustaine just posted a guitar he bought. It's a 79 LP Silverburst. I saw that actually. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I thought it was funny. I didn't know if he was taking the piss or what he was doing, but I thought it was funny. Glenn says, I was in the kitchen getting a drink and heard, did I hear Dave ask Dr. Evil Wrench to whip out his Jackson? Is that what you call it in Canada? Glenn, no. Scott says, I think I may have to get an NG Riviera. Anyone have one? Nope. Michael says to Scott, that guitar does look sweet. Too many cool guitars, not enough money. Ain't that the truth? And more importantly, wife would just murder me. Ain't that the truth? Glenn says, Michael, did Mustaine get an employee discount on that Silverburst? He said that he hadn't seen it, but like he was looking for a vintage to start his vintage collection. This was the first one. I was like, dude, you've got like millions of dollars. How do you not have a vintage collection already? But he opened it. He was like, here you go. And yeah, I don't know. It would have been, it was surprising to me that he bought a vintage Les Paul. But there you go. I don't know if he was messing, he was joking around, but hey, it was a funny video. Yeah, what a dude. My niece says to Michael, I will pay you to have your wife murder me. No, win-win for you both. You can buy guitars and I won't have to keep paying the bills. We need you here though. My knees hurt, so I can't approve such a thing. Scott says the specs are amazing compared to the JB335. I get what you're talking about. No Gallagher Rivera. Yeah, they are actually pretty close, to be honest. They're not too bad, and pretty nice guitar for sure. Michael says, that's funny, Glenn. I don't think so. He posted on Instagram and says the first guitar he's bought to collect. Yeah, 100%. Glenn says, Michael, I hear your wife is ready to kick Dave's ass for telling me to order a pedal, and she would kill me too if I got another guitar. Hey man, stop getting other people's wives to kick my ass. I don't know what I did. Vincent Doyle's here. Good to see you, Vincent. Hope you're well, my friend. Says, talking of Fender Mex Strats, bought a Player Series last year and it was so bad. Pickups were awful and the fretwork was disgraceful. I believe the Vintera Strats are great. Vincent, I've heard a lot of people say that actually that the Player Strats were had dropped. Like they came out, were really good, and then they dropped because they brought out the Player Plus. And the Player Plus were really good. And then the Vintera over that as well. So yeah, I've heard the same thing. I've heard a lot of people in the last year or so say that the basic Player Strats, which, am I right in saying they're coming in, they're starting around $599? Player Plus then is like $800-900. So I think that's where they're kind of really paying attention to what they're doing. But yeah, you're not the first person to say that. That I've heard, but good to see you, Vincent. Hope you're well. Ryan says the Vintera are nice. I've always liked those. They make some cool ones for sure. And T-Ball says, I still have my first guitar I bought new, made in India, 1990 Squire 2. Technically a vintage guitar worth tens of dollars. I mean, hey, if it's vintage, you could probably get, like, I don't know, high tens of dollars, to be honest. Scott says, I don't like the staggered SSS pickups on my 75th anniversary Strat. They sound good, but look shit, in my opinion. Well, hey, there's other folks out there who probably think they look good, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. I like them. I like them personally, but I get where you're coming from. Ryan says, I played a Gibson SG today. Liked it quite a bit. Maybe one day. Maybe soon, Ryan. That's just my advice to you. And Glenn says, my Gibson SG has been my number one for weeks now. I can't put it down. Finally, we agree on something, Glenn. Let me see what we got. And Michael says, Glenn, that is a true test. If you keep going back to it, then it's a good guitar. That is the test. Ryan says, don't mention the war. Oh yes, Faulty Towers. I'm sure that's what you're referencing, right? Yeah, absolutely. I want Miko Lindstrom, him, Daniel Lyon Eye to get a signature white Gibson Epiphone SG. No thanks. Michael says, Dave, when are you going to get sponsored by established titles? Lord 3-Chord Dave, or maybe you are already an Irish baron. Yeah, no thanks. Established titles. I don't think it's a good sponsorship to get into right now. However, I do have a couple of sponsors lined up. I'm going to give you a peek at one of them. I'm actually quite excited to be working with this company right here. So these are that company right there are sponsoring the channel in the near future. So we're working out. I'm going to have some stuff to tell you about soon. So those are the kind of sponsors I'm going for, not the established titles, and a couple of others. I did reach out to some companies like, hey, want to sponsor my channel? And a lot of them were just like, no. So that was funny, especially some of the stuff. The companies that sponsor lots of YouTubers, they were like, no, you're good. So what does that tell you? But Seymour Duncan were like, yeah, welcome to the family. So guess what pickups I'll be buying. But I'll tell you more about that in the next week or two. Al says, I've set down my SG and I'm playing my PRS 245. I would like to retain the nitro smell on the SG for now. Yeah, Al, PRS 245 is not a bad guitar, in fairness, but yeah, your SG is very nice, so I'm sure you'll get around to picking it up though. T-Ball says, my next guitar will be a Telecaster or a 12-string. Takes me to my max of 6 guitars. I don't have time to take care of any more than that. I have 3 other hobbies that cost, so what is your limit? I'm way down on guitars right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, I'm down to 4. Yeah. Is there another one that I'm forgetting? I think there might be. Technically, I'm kind of down to 5, but one of them I haven't touched since I moved into the house. So, and there's 2 that are not real guitars. So, yeah, there's definitely, I don't really have a limit as to how many I would buy, but I definitely am low on stock right now, waiting for, of course, the Telecaster to come in this week. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Limits. Let's not limit ourselves. It's all good. Scott says, I'm sponsored by impoverished titles. It's a scam. Good one, Scott. I wanted so badly to make a spoof sponsorship called Entitled Dudes, and just write up a thing like, as you too can be a bro. Just like you can put bro 3-Chord Dave on your passport or on your tickets, whatever. Who's going to stop you? But I haven't got around to doing it, so I'm not going to do it. So this is the debut of Entitled Bros. John Smith says, I bought an SB55V. That's the Les Paul Jr. style. Very cool, John. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, and Eastman. Literally everyone I've spoken to says they're great, so that's why I have my eye on one. Richard says, a limit on guitars? What kind of devil talk is that? See? I knew it would mix up some emotions right there. T-Boss says, so if Gibson put a ban on me, I would just get my wife to buy it. F those guys. Right? They can't stop you. They can't. Ryan says, maybe we could do a 3-Chord Dave guitar kit build-off. I like that idea. I think we should definitely do some sort of collaborations, some kind of working together, or like gallery of the work we do. I think that'd be super cool. Do guitar kit collaborations. I'll think about it in the new year. We will put down some rules. If anyone wants to sign up, we'll do then a start date, and we'll all make some guitars. And those who just want to join us for the journey will get to follow along our progress and stuff like that. We'll set up a page and it'll be fun. We'll do some videos. You guys can send me stuff. I'll make videos showing your stuff. It'll be cool. So just get involved. It'll be super cool. We'll do that in the new year. Glenn says, I looked up the word limit in the dictionary. Couldn't find it. It's not a real word. T-Ball says, any more than 6 for me, and then they start becoming case queens. All mine are out and ready to play. I get you, Anthony. Yeah, like 6 is a good number, to be honest. It gives you lots of variety, and you as I said, you got to take care of them all. So it starts to get a bit of a chore at that point, or you start to neglect them. I think that's true. When I have multiple guitars around, I like to keep them in different rooms and near me so that I will pick them up at least once a day. So that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Glenn says, all my guitars are out except one. I just ordered Hercules stands, so they will all be in reach. Good thinking, Glenn. I like it. You should also, let that other guitar come out. It's fine. It's, 2022. We're all open to that. It's fine. My Knees Hurt says, I stopped listening to new Metallica in 1990. Still listen to albums from before that. Music was better before 1990, I think. Daniel Larson says to T-Ball, then what if Gibson banned your wife? She couldn't be. Then she can't get another Gibson ever. What is she going to do? It's a good question. Scott says, I'm hoping the new Metallica song is AI generated and it's a big laugh for when they release their album in April, maybe on the 1st. That'd actually be funny. I don't know. T-Ball says, I only like the first 3 Metallica albums. After that, and yes, it's. I think a lot of people would agree with that. My Knees Hurt. Me too, says Scott. And Ryan says, I maybe liked 2 to 3 Metallica songs. The rest sound exactly the same as those 3. Ooh, that's controversial-ish. I like older Metallica when I do listen to it. Again, as I've said, I'm not a huge Metallica guy, but if I'm going to listen to Metallica, it'll be older stuff for sure. Richard says, Hercules stands are the best. I just like to have enough guitars out so I don't have to change the tunings, so I have something set for a slide. I always need a Gretsch or a Rick at the ready. It's not bad. It's not bad to have a Gretsch or a Rick at the ready. T-Ball says, Benny's, she would celebrate. Definitely celebrate. I know. It's just they don't understand. Ryan says, and 1 is the Whiskey in the Jar cover. So 1 to 2. That's an interesting one indeed. My Knees Hurt says, I just posted a folding hand truck video on my YouTube. A great tool and carry your small guitar gear. Folding hand trucks can be useful. I get you there. Michael says, Mustaine basically said he refused to buy any guitars, only has been using the ones he gets for free. Well, isn't it nice for him to get free guitars? Yeah, Dave, just you get free guitars, the rest of us don't, man. That's, whatever. Slash has like 1 billion guitars, so take after him, maybe. You got the money. My Knees Hurt says to Al, my username is My Knees Hurt. Filter your search results by channel type and you will get physical therapy channels. Or you will get physical therapy channels. You don't want them. Those get kinky. Glenn says, didn't Mustaine sell off all his gear a few years ago, all his guitars and amps, when he was ill? That might be true, yeah. Dave Mustaine seems like a miserable human, and I thought this back in the 80s. Oh, Anthony, yeah, well, I don't know, possibly. Scott says, seems like a good topic. Hope you don't mind My Knees Hurt. Folding hand truck video from My Knees Hurts. There you go. Yeah, there's a nice link there. You can check out My Knees Hurts channel. And if you're not subscribed, let's get them over 300 subscribers, dudes, because why not? Let's help our buddies out and get them over that mark. He says he's 291. Let's hit him over the 300. I'll check out your channel later, Scott. My Knees Hurt. Thank you so much. Glenn says, read Mustaine's bio. It explains a lot about his anger. Yeah, that is true. He has been through some stuff in his life, that dude. So that's why he's angry. You can kind of understand it. It's kind of incredible he's where he is. But there you go. Ben says, I have to stick up for the Player Series Mexican Strats. I have the 2021 75th anniversary in buttercream and play it more than my American maids. And that's the truth. It's a gem, in my opinion. Awesome, Ben. No, that's cool. I would say, look, in terms of any guitars, like I was saying with the Epiphones, you get good ones and you do get bad ones. So like Vincent was saying, he had a bad one. You have a good one. That's great. I think that is the case for sure in the in any range, particularly in budget ranges. You'll find some are great, and people who get those will rave about them, and then you get the people who get bad ones and be like, you're all liars. Not that anyone was saying that, but yeah, it's true. It's very disappointing when you get a bad one. I believe I've been very, very lucky. Touch wood. That's not real wood. That is. Anyways, rolling on. Scott says it was the Slayer hoodie that made me do it. Oh, they can make you do things. Manisar says, thanks, Scott. I've been wearing this Slayer hoodie daily for 25 years. It never leaves my house. Well, there you go. That's lasting for a long time. I enjoy it. Benny says, my knees hurt. You already have 292 subscribers. The first suggestion was my knees hurt. Then I do squats. I like it. Michael says, gotta go. I'll catch the rest on the replay. Thanks for dropping in, Michael. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend. And Ryan says, Established Titles is paying these guys tens of thousands for a 60-second ad. They've got lots of scam cash to burn. Yeah, I mean, if you look into what they're doing, it's kind of interesting. I did, for just out of interest, email them and be like, hey, I'm a YouTuber, how much are you paying for subscriptions? They never answered me. So there you go. I think they're getting a lot of flack. And I mean, you know, Geek Lord's video defending them was quite interesting. There was also a video calling out Geek Lord for his defense of the Established Titles, which was quite funny. But hey, yeah, if don't start a new subscription or a new sponsorship with Established Titles right now. Just wait till next year. T-Ball says Established Titles is the same as Own a Star. Yeah, pretty much. T-Ball, my ex-wife watched Mustaine beat his girlfriend up in an alley behind a club in New York in the 80s. Seems like a dick, but I do like his music mostly. Well, just if Dave Mustaine's watching, that's from My Knees Hurt. I just got to say that because, you know, suing and stuff. And My Knees Hurt says, Benny, I made it. My channel when I was able to skateboard. I've had 3 back surgeries, so no more skating. I just put up shitty songs that I make up. Nothing wrong with that. That sounds like fun. I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. Scott says, I've already started my guitar build video, Dave. Took forever to chop the tree down. Well, hey, sounds like fun, Scott. Looking forward to it. Ryan says, Bourgeois has a new lineup called Touchstone made on China with Eastman. Very cool, yeah. Have to look into that, figure out more about it. Very, very cool. Money Shirt says, anyone heard the new Candlemas album 2022? Sounds pretty good to me. Have no idea what that is, so I'll have to check that out as well. Money Shirt says, hell yes, pump me up. Thank you. Sounds weirdly. Let's not get into that. Manisard also says Mustaine's autobiography is on YouTube. It's 10 hours long, but it's worth a listen. Same with Tony Iommi and Paul Stanley. Well, these guys have interesting histories for sure. Ryan Byrne says, yeah, I agree. Mustaine looks like the guy who freaks out on kids outside the liquor store. He does indeed. Murphy's Flab is here. Good to see you. Murphy's Flab says, yo, Joe. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Scott says, hand truck is better than my method of lift with your back and then turn to the left and quickly jerk motion. That sounds better. Money Cert says to Scott, I've had 3 back surgeries. It's been life-changing. I spent 35 years falling off BMX bikes for fun. Caught up on me. It tends to all sports injuries catching up on myself as well. Is Mustaine an albino? I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. Actually, no, I don't think so. Ryan says Geek Lord took that video down and he started being nice to people in the comments of his next one, which he never goes into while still promoting it. Yeah, I didn't know he'd taken it down, but there you go. It's funny. I would too, though. Scam Cash buys lots of gear. It does. Very true. 10 hours of Mustaine sounds tough, says Benny. Yeah. Richard says, I think many of us could say we have been through a lot. We don't use it as an excuse to be shitty and miserable or asshole-ish to others. And we don't even have it's free drugs, women, guitars, and money. Good points, all. Glenn says, Dave, my wife says I need your credit card number for that DS1. No problem. It's 3412 6458 9162 1124. You're welcome. Happy Christmas. It's not my credit card number, just in case anyone's thinking I'm that stupid. Thanks for everything, Dave. It's very appreciated. I appreciate you, Scott. Thank you so much. Benny says, Benny, it's not Mustaine reading the book. It's his book on tape. There you go. And Scott, I'm not reading that last one out. You guys will clip it up and then it'll be all over YouTube saying it. Richard Clark says, thanks for explaining. I was iffy on the Mustaine reading part. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for yet another 3-Chord Dave live. This has been episode number 59. And in 10 3-Chord Daves, we will have 69, which will be fun. So yeah, look, it's December, so I should tell you now, we will be taking 2 weeks off over the Christmas holiday period. So I think it's Christmas Eve. We will not be doing 3-Chord Dave, and New Year's Eve we will not be doing 3-Chord Dave live. So those numbers and everything you want to put in your calendar, those 2 weeks will be off. But we'll be back in 2023, of course, with a bang, talking about Cesar and Gibson and all those kind of things again, see what we can find out. Good luck if you're going to buy an Adam Jones guitar on Tuesday. I'll make a video about him as well on that day. Don't forget, there's all the things you can do, the links in the description below, all that sort of stuff. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll catch you again very soon, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week.